I'm going to craft this as a conversation because I cannot, for the life of me, just video myself talking about things, even though I have this great pull to do so consistently. More of a pull to just share generally, share things that I am learning, the journey that I'm going on in this life, where I'm at, and having things to share, having creative things to share. Already I feel myself going on into this place that's like not actually me when I'm just talking, and just expressing myself, which is so strange. I don't understand why that is. Is it because there's the possibility of this being shared, and therefore it's my ego, obviously. It's my ego in the way. It's completely my ego in the way. I'm currently in the process of going through, okay. I legitimately have been completely stopped from sharing anything that um, it doesn't even, sharing anything with people who are not, um, with a potential audience that's not my friends, um, in a relational. I think it's because who I'm speaking to kind of doesn't exist. It's almost like there's no audience, right? Like, what am I doing? Talking to myself? Um, if I was talking with a friend, if I was just talking with a friend right now, even just someone I've just met, I would be able to go directly into flow. I would be directly into speaking my truth, sharing anything and everything within the bounds of the relationship that's being formed, right? Like, there is a relationship being formed when I meet another human being who is receiving what I am, who is receiving and giving, and I'm giving and receiving, and there is a relationship being formed in communication, in getting to know each other, in sharing, in ultimately sharing things and stuff. And of course, there is ego involved in that, because your ego is there being like, hi, I'm me doing these things, and these are the things that I care about. And even though I don't really, and I'm blah, 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 but here are all the things that I, you know, find important and can get really serious about. Um, and here are the things that I want to share. Here are things that I actually have inside me, that are coming through me, that are channeling through me, that I wish to share with you, another human being. And there's ultimately a complete lack of like what we would call like that kind of negative part of ego, which is like trying to sort of, the intentional, well, maybe not the intentional, the complete lack of control and agency of your own ego, and where ego actually takes over and stops you from being who you truly are, stops you from sharing really the truth of what you want to share with the world, of what you really think about anything, because your ego is actually in charge, and the image of how you were yet who you were so attached to your ego that you wish to you know you wish to control and edit and make the ego, um, make make an image of what people are perceiving, rather than just allowing people to perceive you as they would as they wish, as they wish, with whatever's coming out of you, without you doing any sort of like editing to a big extent, because obviously when I'm speaking to someone, I'm not editing, but I'm, like I said, communicating within the bounds of that relationship. Or some things can be said and some things can't be said, or some things don't need to be said. So you are choosing what to say at the end of the day, which is where the ego is. But I know I've moved a far way to my authenticity, which is just, you know, I'm going to share, honey. You know, I'm ready to share what I have to think, what I think. I'm ready to share what I have to say. I'm ready to share what I feel about things, what is going on in my life, like right now, and like the journey of my humanity. Like I wanna, you know, get it out there. I'm not afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to share my feelings and to show my creativity and, um, you know, although I've never shared like publicly really any of my writing, my like poetry or my longer form essays or anything like that, or anything really that I'm writing. Sometimes I could read from my own poetry and I might read to someone in person. Maybe that takes a little bit more effort. Um, but I can do it. But actually just like publishing out to just what, like just like some kind of like unknown audience, it seems like maybe that's the last frontier actually of my controlling mind, my controlling ego mind that is stopping me from actually, well, it's ultimately not stopping me, but it has been stopping me, but now it's not going to stop me. And that's what I'm going to be deciding right now, is that, you know, I actually can get into the flow of sharing, and it's getting this creative process going where I can be in this space to speak to a camera and not feel like I'm being judged and not feel like I'm trying to control the way that I'm being perceived, you know? And that's almost like every thought that I've ever had, you know, every critical thought has just gone out the window. Like I can't even form a thought. Not that it even needs to be a cohesive idea, but like I feel like I sometimes produce cohesive ideas, you know. Maybe maybe there's maybe I think there's some cohesion to it. But um you know, people tend to be like, of course there's, you know, some audience and some people who just go, oh no, and there's no coherence, and you go, okay, well, I'll stop speaking my crazy language, um and change it a bit this way so this person can understand. um but you know, to just feel like all of my thinking, all of my ideas, all of like really just what is channeling through me, my creative energy is just gone, which is amazing because that's not what's happening right now. I actually feel like I'm flowing with being able to speak, which is really good. So obviously, I've engaged in the creative process and I push myself through that little moment, realizing that, you know, it's a relationship like anything, you know, like, okay, like I just said, you know, if I have a strong relationship with communicating with other human beings, and I've made a good relationship with that part of me and with my ability to share what I feel and to be creative with people and to go deep with people, and to, you know, quite get past the small talk to really get to this kind of like, you know, the stuff, the real stuff, like just the complexity, you know, the complexity of this human existence. And like, because I'm so and so so introspective, just really introspective, like all of us, right? But like somehow always wanting to communicate it. um and so and then when people when I'm speaking with people and I'm maybe meeting a new person, there is immediately a relationship being built there with that person, right? And I'm engaging in that relationship, just as I'm realizing now, which I knew, you know, I kind of knew this. I knew this when I was embarking on it, that I just needed to just give it, you know, I just needed to put the camera and just start doing the thing that I wanted to do. You know, okay, I have this creative desire. I know I want to share. Oh, I'm going to want to do writing. I'm going to do podcasting. I'm going to do the YouTube. I don't like to do that. I'm going to do this, you know, just literally just, I have things to say, get them out is what the desire was, to more people than just every single person that I'm meeting, because you know that's also great. That's also great, and that's another conversation. And what a tangent! But you know, I actually just had to put this camera here and begin the process, enter into a relationship, enter into a relationship building exercise with this camera and this expression, but also whoever, and therefore pretend, but a camera, really, the camera is the audience. I mean, whether or not anyone even watches this, or the people who do watch this, whoever they are, I actually don't know, right? So this is the camera, but ultimately my audience, what is my audience? My audience is who is listening. The audience is who's listening. So I've, I've just got to start speaking to the people who are listening to me, who wish to listen and who have a desire to listen. And those people, those souls just exist, it seems, because in waking life, not that this is not waking life, but in walking around, non-digital life, see other human face life, blah, 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 yap, 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 life. Um, some people seem to like what I have to say. So what I'm saying is the audience is out there, but that's the funny thing. The audience is the audience, and now I'm just yapping about nothing. But what I actually want to say is, it was really interesting going through this process of talking, and I could feel my ego pulling me out of the present moment. Realizing that I had a flow, and my ego going, well, not my ego, my consciousness, my witness kind of going, oh, you're doing a really good job. You're flowing. You're currently saying things without even thinking about them, and that you're creating ideas. And then my ego would come in and go, oh yeah, oh yeah, you're doing a really good job. And then, I'm going to lose my flow because I'm thinking about this thing, but thankfully I didn't lose my flow. There were a few moments though. And that's kind of when I'm going from, I really just want to look at the camera hole, instead of looking at myself on the screen, because the screen is, when like you're in a FaceTime, like a video call, oh, it's just horrible. Like you can't not look at your own camera. I mean, maybe no one else suffers from that, and I'm just a narcissist. But no, you know what I mean. Like you just want to get it away. And FaceTime, you can't. You can't, because it's FaceTime, because it's all about faces. So you gotta watch it. But WhatsApp and I think like Messenger, maybe, I don't know if I use that, but WhatsApp, you can slide away your own video, which is, I'm looking at myself doing this the entire time. You can just slide away your own video. And it just makes the interaction so much more better, because you're literally just speaking to the person, and you can actually just fully engage with that person. If you have a video of yourself while you're speaking to someone, that's like the epitome of just like complete destruction of a true connected moment, right? Because all you're doing is thinking about you. All you're doing is thinking about you, and that is exactly the issue that I've had with engaging in this creative process, that I so wished to do so for so long, in this way of just like orating things, and beginning a journey of orating things. And yeah, I'm realizing that that's why, because you're just like looking at yourself, perhaps if I had an actual camera and not just an iPhone, well, I guess I could just turn my iPhone around, but that's really difficult, because then I can't see what the scene looks like. And I mean, I need to see what the scene looks like generally. And I can at least have the scene in my peripheral vision, knowing like everything's okay, the lighting's okay, everything's working. Do you know what I mean? But because it's a video, so I need to think about those things. But anyway, I think I can actually train myself to just look at the camera. Yeah, and I mean, I've got to think about, oh, come on, bird poo, Slatina. There was just a full-on seedy, meaty third poo just landed right on the table in front of me, and I love that. I love that. I remember when I was young and I was out with um my dad having breakfast or something, having some, coffee or something, and he just got shat on, just completely shattered on, just all over himself, and it was a giant ibis. It was just huge, and he was not phased. He just said, "That's great. That's good luck." I mean, he was phased. But he was like, "That's good luck," and that stuck with me. Maybe that's why I'm so spiritual. All that superstition early in life. So as we may get into, also all of the trauma. Okay, so with the 16-minute mark that I can wonderfully see on my screen, I'm going to finish this video and say goodbye. And we are going to kick off some more thinking and thoughts um, in the future. I'm traveling. Well, I'm traveling. I'm in a place at the moment that is really not conducive to finding a quiet, undisturbed space. Um, but I'm going to be moving lots, so I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to find spaces like kind of like this. Um, I've had to make my own little shade sail. Really hard to find places that are not steaming hot, that I'm not going to be disturbed, that aren't too loud. I mean, this is actually still even a little loud for me. Because I'd love to turn this into a podcast, but definitely not this one. But all the talking about just being able to speak. um, but yeah. So here's hoping that I find more spaces with lighting, not too much heat, shade, and no disturbance, and low sound. Peace.